Good afternoon. I'm Stacey Spivey with Lauren Coleman, Ben Briscoe, and Tim Buckley changing things up today.
Yes, it's great to have you guys on the show today, and great to have you as well, whether you're watching at home, Fire Stick, Roku, or the WFMY News 2 app.
We're also streaming on Facebook. Go ahead and join in on the conversations we're going to have there. But first, we need to get to some of our top stories this afternoon. New at 4, Wake Forest University is searching for a new opponent to face in the 2021 Gator Bowl.
Texas A&M has ended their season and opted out of the Gator Bowl because of COVID. The game is scheduled for next Friday if the ACC and Deacs can find a team to play against. If the Gator Bowl is canceled, ticket purchasers will get a full refund and no further action will be needed. Ticket holders are encouraged to wait until the team makes their final announcement on a possible opponent. If you want to request a refund, regardless of who Wake plays, you can call the university's ticket office.
COVID-19 continues to hit college campuses in North Carolina. Duke University announced students will start their spring semester remotely. All undergraduate and graduate classes will be held remotely for the first week of the semester. In-person instruction is expected to resume on January 10th, but students at Duke will be required to show proof they got a COVID booster shot before the end of January. And they're going to have to show a negative COVID test taken within 48 hours of returning to campus. The university will continue requiring masks indoors too.
Students will have easier access to testing with at-home COVID testing. Right now, you can purchase at-home COVID tests over the counter or even pick up one for free in Guilford County. But President Biden announced yesterday his administration will make it even easier for people to get access to free at-home testing.
That starts in January, but health departments and pharmacies in the Triad area are ahead of the curve. WFMY News 2's Marissa Tansino joins us live. Marissa, the Guilford County Department of Public Health is already handing out these free at-home COVID tests. Why is that?
Well, Lauren, before you can stop the spread of COVID-19, you have to figure out where it's going. And one way to do that is with testing. Well, the Guilford County Health Department here is working to make that process easier for people. They had 500 at-home test kits to give out today. They were giving them out here at the Greensboro Health Department and over in High Point as well. Within 15 minutes, all 500 tests ran out today. So you can really see how high in demand these at-home test kits are, and that's really the case across the board. These at-home tests are flying off the shelves as families get ready to gather for the holidays. We check stock at places like CVS and Walgreens in Greensboro, with many of these places out of at-home testing kits. The same goes for local pharmacies in the city too. Adler Pharmacy in Greensboro says they started selling these kits a few months ago. The last few days, about 15 kits have been selling each day, but by noontime today, 12 already flew off the shelf. The pharmacy expects to be out of them soon, with no idea when the shelves will be stocked again.
I tried to order a few more. It's not possible to get them anymore. You know, I call the companies where I get them from. They don't have in stock, and they're not ready to. They don't have anything for me to order. I am too sure that by the end of today, I don't know if I will have if I will have more left.
Now, these tests that the Guilford County Health Department was giving out today came from the State Health Department, and the health director tells me they hope to continue working with the State Health Department to secure more at-home kits to give out after Christmas and the New Year.
Oh, thank you, Marissa. Dr. Yulia Van says it's important to make testing as accessible as possible, just like vaccinations. Dr. Van adds, as the virus changes, so do our tools to fight it.
We did not have monoclonal antibodies, which is really important to prevent hospitalizations, to prevent death, to prevent serious illness. And that is a huge success and a huge step forward. We're also now hearing about the antiviral medication that is also going to become available after the news that we have received today. This is another tool that we did not have.
A little bit of hope for the future, but we really need that hope right now, because one of the metrics Dr. Van is concerned with is hospitalizations. As of yesterday, 106 people were hospitalized with COVID in Guilford County. We know that 89 of those patients are getting care from Cone Health. Dr. Van expressed her concern, saying this is the highest number of hospitalizations we've seen since early October. She says the problem is that the number is going to go up and up after the holidays, which will strain hospitals even more.
As the Omicron variant spreads, it's important to know how symptoms may differ from the Delta strain and even the original strain. The top 5 reported symptoms of the Omicron variant are runny nose, headache, fatigue, sneezing, and sore throat.
We've heard health leaders say preliminary data shows the Omicron variant is the more contagious strain. But our verified team explains if more contagious equals less severe.
The Biden administration is issuing a stark warning about the dangers of the Omicron variant.
If you're not fully vaccinated, you have good reason to be concerned.
At the same time, there are claims like these tweets sent to thousands of followers that Omicron only causes mild symptoms. So let's verify. Are Omicron symptoms always mild? Our sources are the World Health Organization, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the COVID-19 Advisory for Ontario, Canada. Many of the statements around the severity of Omicron are based on early data from South African researchers who first discovered Omicron last month, and the variant is just now starting to take hold in the U.S. However, the CDC says more data is needed to understand the severity of Omicron, especially in people who are fully vaccinated. The WHO agrees it's too early to make conclusions.
We do have initial reports that suggest that Omicron is less severe compared to Delta. However, if we have more cases mean more hospitalizations. And if a healthcare system is overburdened, people will die because they won't get the appropriate care that they need.
The WHO adds even if many cases are milder, as the early data suggests, Omicron is more transmissible than previous variants and vaccines are less effective against it. This increases the odds it will affect someone who will struggle to recover.
We do know that people with Omicron can have the full spectrum of disease, everything from asymptomatic infection, mild infection, people needing hospitalization, and people have died from Omicron.
Canadian health officials agree.
That's not sniffles. That is hospitalization, which is a very serious health outcome.
So it's false that Omicron symptoms are always mild.
Now let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. The Stephen Tanger Center has updated its COVID protocol starting December 28th. Face coverings will be required inside the theater. Another change, food and drinks will not be allowed in the seating area. Officials say the new policies will remain in effect until further notice. The Tanger Center already requires proof of vaccination or a negative test for admission to events. The National Hockey League will not play in the Winter Olympics. The league has experienced a rise in COVID cases and postponed a number of games. The NHL is postponing all games through Sunday, including 2 games for the Carolina Hurricanes. Players can return to their teams on Sunday for virus testing and practice. Meanwhile, the NBA says it will not pause its season even as the association sees a rising number of cases among players. As of yesterday, at least 84 players from 20 teams were believed to be under COVID protocols. That number doesn't include staffers and coaches. The NBA has postponed 7 games so far this season, but none from moving forward from today. The league is allowing teams to sign replacements to fill in for a player who tested positive as a way to limit the number of postponed games. South Africa has seen a noticeable drop in new COVID cases in the past few days, signaling its Omicron surge has passed its peak. South Africa has been at the top of headlines when it comes to this strain. After hitting a high of nearly 27,000 new cases nationwide last Thursday, the numbers dropped to just over 15,000. Medical experts say the wave was not as severe in terms of hospitalizations and deaths.
We are getting our first listen at the 911 calls from a shooting yesterday at Four Seasons Town Center Mall. Investigators say the person injured had multiple gunshot wounds and went to the hospital. A witness said he saw a car driving up near JCPenney, and someone inside the car started shooting before getting out of the car and running away. Police say the shooting was isolated and thankfully no one else was injured.
They're like in the parking lot, like behind JCPenney's. I just heard the noise. I didn't see anybody. I did see a couple of people kind of ducking, like they heard them too. I just think that maybe a police officer should be out here checking things out. I just want to get out of the parking lot.
Can't blame them. Scary moment. Mall staff increased security immediately after the incident, but opened the mall under normal hours and operations today. WFMI News 2's Jenna Krasina spoke with someone who used to work at the mall. At 5 o'clock, hear why she hasn't been back since.
The city of Greensboro will create a new safety board to help address violent crimes, specifically at bars and restaurants. The Greensboro City Council voted last night to adopt the proposal. The board will meet within a week of any violent incident and will suggest safety improvements. The board also will take into consideration whether the business had other incidents in the past. The safety plan begins next month.
A family's home destroyed after a fire at a Greensboro townhome complex. The fire started just before 3 this morning at Myers Point at Greenbrier on Greenbrier Road. This video from a viewer shows flames coming out of the windows of those townhomes. Investigators say the family was not home when the fire started, but the family dog was trapped inside and died. The family of 5 will stay with family members now, and the cause of that fire is under investigation. And we've learned the cause of an apartment fire in Graham was deemed undetermined. Fire officials say the remains of the embers motor lodge is not structurally sound enough to enter all parts of the complex for a thorough investigation. The complex caught fire Sunday morning, forcing 35 people from their homes. Fire officials said the motel was more than 40 years old. The Red Cross and other local organizations are assisting families in collecting donations to help.
Well, if you've been outside at all today, you notice a couple things. Number one, it's actually sunny again. We have that blue sky back in the Carolinas. It's also quite a bit warmer. Yesterday was only 40 degrees, and today we're well back into the 50s. Take a look there. It's kind of a postcard view of our gate city. Temperature is 55 at the moment. Very low humidity, so you need to keep the chapstick on hand, the lotion, all those things. It is that winter feel, and a lot of people taking advantage of it. I haven't seen the ice skating rink this packed in a while. A lot of people enjoying the weather outside in downtown Greensboro. Temperatures in your hometowns are in the low to mid 50s at the moment, except the high country. The mountains are way cooler, in the 30s and 40s right now. We do have a bit of a breeze today, and that is cutting through that warmth a little bit. Winds are coming in out of the north and west at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. That'll continue through the daytime, but the winds will let up overnight tonight, and we have a cold night ahead. Keep in mind, this is going to be a big chill for early tomorrow morning, and you might have a little frost to deal with as well. Mid-20s, that's what we wake up to, right around 25 to kind of get your Thursday going. Looking at tomorrow, it's similar to today, but a couple changes. No wind, that's gone, and sunshine, that sticks around, a little cooler. Highs will only be in the upper 40s to right around 50. That's your Thursday, and I really think that we're going to see warmer weather taking over after that. This warmth starts to move in on Christmas Eve, and it peaks on Christmas Day. In fact, I think once we get to Christmas, it's not going to feel like December for the rest of the month.
talk about Aggie Pride. A North Carolina A&T student is making a name for herself in the fashion industry, all while promoting historically black colleges and universities. Yulia Hargrove is a junior fashion and supply chain management major from Henderson. This summer, she had the opportunity to do an internship in Philly with Urban Outfitters, which is a very popular, trendy clothing company for teens and young adults. Over 10 weeks, she, along with other students from Howard University and Clark Atlanta University, designed apparel to represent their schools. Hargrove designed sweatpants, a sweatshirt, varsity jacket, tote bag, and playing cards. All of the items are now being sold on Urban Outfitters website, and she was even the model.
On December 13th at 7 a.m. in the morning, I was already ready, had all my items in my shopping cart. So it was pretty amazing, like seeing myself and all the other interns I work with, being able to like see us on the website. It was very surreal. It was pretty amazing.
And this was a dream come true, of course, for Hargrove, as she says she started making her own clothes in middle school because growing up she couldn't afford the newer styles. But this experience was more than fulfilling her own goals. It was about promoting A&T and other HBCUs.
It was pretty amazing to bring light to HBCUs, and even like them bringing African Americans in the space at Urban Outfitters to work for them. That was pretty amazing because you don't really see a lot of representation within the fashion industry. So I really appreciate that as well, and having to experience that.
Very cool. Now, this was the first summer class of HBCU students at Urban Outfitters. Hargrove says it was all started because of their newly created Inclusiveness and Diversity Committee. Hargrove plans to find another internship this summer and graduate next year.
Oh.
So incredibly amazing. If you liked any of those styles, guess what? You can go buy it. Except for the varsity jacket, it's already sold out.
Oh, wow. I have to say, she was giving face in those modeling pictures. She said,
I did this.
She looked good.
I did this.
Yeah,
I
and
think
it looked good.
It did. I mean, the skirt, the top, it looks phenomenal. And I think this is just a great way to highlight our HBCUs. I have a lot of family members that graduated from HBCUs, but I have a lot of friends who have not been exposed to that. And to see these items in such a big retail store, I mean, it's just a great way to perk some interest there.
And to not only highlight the schools, but also the amazing students they're churning out. I mean, she was a supply chain management person too. We need her right now, for sure.
Yes, we do.
Exactly.
And also, like, the fact that this was an internship, you know, when you think of internships, a lot of times it's getting coffee or just watching things, but this seemed very hands-on, and she's like living out her dream. I mean, how many college students can say they have a brand like this where people all over the world can buy it?
I know, it's so cool. And I just commend Urban Outfitters for deciding to do this, and I think that they're going to continue to do this each summer. And their whole reason behind it was to promote HBCUs and to give those students a chance to get involved in the fashion industry, where Hargrove says, you know, there's not a lot of representation.
I love it. Absolutely great. Great job.
Congratulations to her. I know we're going to see her big fashion designer one day.
And if you
Her
want
own
it, you better
boutique.
buy it now.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will sell out fast.
Probably so. We'll be right back.
Hey there, welcome back. You might have noticed December has been just really warm overall. You go throughout the month. Of course, we have about 10 days left or so, but take a look here. Most of the calendar days are showing up red, and what I do here is I color in the red ones as above average days, and the blue ones have been below average, and so far only a small handful have been above our average high, which right around now is 51 degrees. The rest have all been above that average threshold, and I think that's mostly going to continue throughout the rest of the month. We could be looking at a top 5 all-time warm December around here, and warmer than the November that we just went through. Cold weather, though, ironically, is pushing in, heading into tonight and tomorrow. You're waking up to right around 25, so you really have to bundle early on tomorrow. There's not much wind to deal with. High pressure settling overhead, that usually relaxes our wind a little bit, and we'll see that for tomorrow. But by Friday, take a look. This is Christmas Eve, near 80 degrees in the southern part of the plains. For us, we're in the 50s, so it's quite comfortable for Christmas Eve day. Christmas Day itself, well, that's when things get a little weird around here. We're in the mid 60s there, and I think we'll stay there all the way through New Year's. Temperatures going to be above average for the rest of 2021.
A Williamsburg, Virginia woman is now the proud owner of her own home, but it's not just any home. Check this out. The house is the first ever completed 3D printed house in the U.S. made by Habitat for Humanity. The 1,200 square foot house was built using 3D printed concrete instead of lumber for the walls. And then the construction company Alquist used 3D printing technology to lower the cost of housing and infrastructure.
This is taking the construction industry and progressing it forward. I mean, we haven't changed the way we build homes in hundreds of years. We basically build them the exact same way we have been for a long time. It's an industry that was overdue for the next step.
This is so neat. The project saved an estimated 15% per square foot in building cost. We'll be right back. That's really awesome.
When you look in the mirror, what voice do you hear? Today on YouDay, Coach Lamont helps us to discern the voice and by doing so, find our inner strength.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Now, before the mirror answers that question, are you prepared to hear the truth? Unfortunately, everyone's confidence is not as certain as the evil queen in Snow White. But it is fair to ask the question in that moment, whose voice are you listening to when you look in the mirror every day? Are you listening to the inner champion, the overcomer? Or are you listening to the nagging voice of insecurity, disappointment, and past failure? It just may be time to wash that mirror clean of all the lies and start afresh with a voice who recognizes the greatness that lies within you. So I discovered that the mirror can try to convince you that you are something you truly aren't. You must be willing to turn the frequency and start speaking to yourself as the champion that you are. You have the power to change the narrative. Let today be the start of a brand new reflection. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best You Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Master Sergeant Breon Davis from Danville, Virginia, wishing my family and friends a happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Sorry I'm missing you all. I'll be home when I get there. Merry Christmas, Breton. I love you and I miss you to pieces.
Hello, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Stacey Spivey. We got Ben Briscoe and Tim Buckley. How are y'all feeling today? It's Wednesday.
I'm feeling a little jealous of Tim actually being outside. It's the only time this week that I wanted to be out there.
I'm feeling really big compared to y'all. That's
well, you're a big personality. You got to have a big screen.
Yeah, you're the center of attention right now.
Hey, it's really nice out here. Happy to be a part.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching the 4 to 5 right here on News 2. Of course, there are several ways to watch us: Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app. But we want to go ahead and get to some.
All right, President Biden met with the supply chain task force to discuss where we stand on moving the number of cargo containers in our nation's ports. This week, the Biden administration is announcing $230 million in grant money for ports to upgrade infrastructure. The supply chain shortages have hit different retailers over the last few months. President Biden explained what else his administration is doing to help get much needed supplies to stores.
We're also working to unstick bottlenecks between the ports and the stores by getting more trucks moving all around the country.
A report from the digital freight forwarding company says the backlog on the West Coast is so severe it's actually faster for companies to ship cargo from Asia to ports in New York and New Jersey rather than California.
The supply chain issues could mean some major discounts come January. Fewer products on the shelf meant fewer Black Friday discounts. And now retail experts say get ready for big sales about 2.5 weeks after Christmas. That will be once all the products finally get to the stores after the holiday shopping rush. The extra supply but decreased demand means a whole lot of stuff on sale. They're already seeing deep discounts of 50% off popular holiday gifts, including watches.
And you don't want to stress this holiday season about COVID. That's why the Guilford County Department of Health handed out more than 500 free at-home test kits today. The health department handed out all 500 tests in the first 15 minutes of distribution. The National Guard helped hand out the tests and gave one-page instructions to everyone to take the test and get accurate results. These at-home tests are flying off the shelves as families get ready to gather for the holidays. Dr. Yulia Van with the department says accessibility to test is important.
This has been a conversation that we've had over the last few days. Yesterday, we were able to confirm the fact that North Carolina DHHS has these tests in their warehouse. And we were able to really drive to the warehouse, pick up the test, and plan organized and put this entire distribution process in place for today so people can have an opportunity to come and pick them up and have them before the weekend starts.
Dr. Van said this will not be the last test distribution event in Guilford County.
The federal government wants to make at-home tests more accessible too. President Biden announced his administration will offer 500 million free rapid COVID tests to Americans. The president's announcement is a shift from an earlier plan which offered reimbursements for the test from private insurance companies, but people would have had to find their test on their own. The Biden administration will purchase tests and ship them free of charge starting in January. President Biden says with the Omicron variant spreading, those fully vaccinated have greater protection, and those who had already had their booster have much less reason to worry.
The answer is straightforward. If you're not fully vaccinated, you have good reason to be concerned. You're at a high risk of getting sick. And if you get sick, you're likely to spread it to others, including friends and family. The unvaccinated have a significantly higher risk of ending up in a hospital or even dying. Almost everyone who has died from COVID-19 in the past many months has been unvaccinated.
President Biden did say it's possible we'll see more vaccinated people with COVID with this variant. If you need one of these tests, you'll be able to use a website to order them. The federal government will also set up vaccination sites around the nation once again and offer additional ventilators and equipment to hospitals from the national stockpile.
Again, they're saying the shot still is the best defense against getting really sick, even if you get a breakthrough case. The CDC is looking into possibly easing its current isolation guidelines. According to the CDC, those who test positive, regardless of vaccination status, must isolate for 10 days. Now, the CDC's director says they anticipate updates soon. Britain just shortened its isolation period to 7 days with a negative test on the 6th.
All right, let's take a break from the news, talk about that weather outside, which honestly has been really a pleasant thing today compared to the last couple where we were cloudy and cool and damp. Well, today is bright and sunny and definitely easier to be outdoors and a little more comfortable, right? A lot of sunshine to go around. Remember, our days now technically are getting a little bit longer. Not much, but just a little bit by a few seconds today. 55 is your current temperature. Look, you can go ice skating. If so, the ice is a little crowded at the moment. This is in downtown Greensboro. News 2 Winterfest runs through January, so you can check it out with the family anytime. Temperatures in the 50s, pretty perfect to be outdoors right now. Still feeling cool, but not very cold. As we look at the winds, this is something we are following today. Winds out of the north, it's going to continue to actually cool us down, bringing cooler air into the Piedmont. So overnight tonight, we're dropping a big way, all the way down into the 20s. It goes like this. We'll be in the 40s by 7 o'clock, 30s and right around freezing by midnight. And when you're waking up early tomorrow morning, if you are, it's in the mid-20s. Okay, these are your lows. I think the rural areas have a real cold night and mid-20s for most of the Triad cities. Let's talk about your tomorrow forecast. Not as windy as today, that goes away. Not as warm as today either. Highs are in the upper 40s, and that'll be about it for your Thursday. Coming up, we'll be talking a little bit more about your Christmas forecast, the full 7-day, and how warm we could get with yet another warm-up.
Tasting while cooking. It's just what you do to see if your dish needs a little more salt or a little more spice. When you are making the dish just for yourself, can you use that same spoon to stir the dish again?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just you, right?
It's just your germs. Okay, but we all know that friend or family member that likes to sneak a taste and then put the spoon back in, do we not?
Yes. Oh, that person who always takes their finger and gets the icing of the cake drives me insane.
Okay, yeah, we can't have that. All right, so here is my answer for that. I just recently took a cooking class, and they had these single-use spoons or forks. Now, these are plastic, but you could use, your regular, utensils and stuff like this. But what they did was they put that cup of those single-use utensils right there by the thing so that you could dip it in, you could taste it, and then you could stick it in the sink.
Oh, smart. Okay, that is smart.
Great idea, but I have questions.
Yeah.
What did you make of this cooking class, and where are our leftovers?
No leftovers, and we learned how to make pasta for the first time, which was super
From
cool.
scratch?
From scratch.
Impressive.
You rolled it out and did the whole thing. It was fun. But it's time consuming. All right, so anyway, we're back to keeping food safe, keeping friends and family from passing around any kind of ick, right, while they're here for the holidays. Keeping yourself sane with everyone in the kitchen is also key. Consumer Reports has a recommendation for how you should organize your fridge.
On the top shelf, you want to keep raw, ready-to-eat foods, things like prepped salads or desserts, anything that you don't want to come into contact with foods on the other shelves.
The middle shelf is for your prepared dishes, basically any foods that are prepped, covered, and ready to be heated. Now, if you have a turkey thawing or any other raw meats, they belong on the bottom shelf. This prevents any kind of dripping getting into already prepared foods. Save the less perishable items like your relishes and cranberry sauce and things like that for the side shelves. All right, so can you imagine having a fridge that organized? Does anybody have a fridge that organized?
I do not.
No.
I tried it.
I just put things where they, fit.
I noticed it's a trend on TikTok these days to have this super organized fridge with all the plastic containers and labels and everything. And I love it, but I mean, who has time for that?
Right, and then you got to take it out of the thing that it was in and whatever else. Okay, so here's the thing that I do want to direct your attention to. Whether you have plastic containers at home or not, I want you to check out where the milk and the eggs are. Where are the milk and the eggs?
They are on an actual shelf and not on those side shelves.
Yes, you got that right, okay? And the big thing is it's a common mistake putting the eggs and the milk on the door. It is not the coolest part of the fridge, so you should not do that.
Oh.
Good to know.
I usually put my eggs in the center part, but the milk definitely goes on like the big drawer or the thing on the side.
Right, and I know that they make them for that, but they should not be put there.
I was about to ask, what about that butter that's on the side?
The butter is fine.
Okay.
The butter, like I leave my butter out. Anybody else leave their butter out?
Leave it out.
Leave it out on the counter so that it's nice and soft. So when you have your toast,
yeah,
it will spread
you
the way
mean
it
just
should.
for a little few minutes?
No,
butter can stay
I leave my butter out.
For the weeks?
Every day.
Really?
This is my first time hearing this. Okay.
I've never heard that either.
Go ahead.
What I'm freakish about is the meats. They've got to go in the bottom drawer because you don't want all that juice leaking down over the other stuff.
And that is a big deal. So when you take a look at that picture right there, you can see that the meat is on the bottom. So there's no contamination to anything else. All right, we're going to have more of a discussion on the butter on the counter later. We want you to talk about it on Facebook. Maybe we'll have to bring it up again next week. Eat, drink, and be merry, and be organized, folks.
But guys, there are only 3 sleeps left until Christmas. It's really hard to believe. And as families get together for the holidays, they'll make memories doing their favorite traditions, which could include looking at Christmas lights. Families in Arizona have a unique light display they can go see, and it's possibly a pit stop for Santa on Christmas night.
It makes the holidays a lot more cheerful. We take the kids out, the wife, we walk around, we look for Christmas lights.
It's one of the best parts of Christmas. Homes adorned with twinkling lights as colorful as the wrapping paper hugging gifts under the tree. But if you ask some people on this Gilbert Street, the real gift this Christmas is a 7.5-foot tall plastic porta potty.
That is awesome.
Neighbor Mark Day was in awe when he first saw Kirk Erickson's kooky idea come to life.
But hey, look, we're making the otherwise crappy Christmas even more crappier.
That's what Kirk said last Christmas when his neighbor, who was having a pool built, plopped a porta potty on the street. A big, square, blue Grinch Kirk feared would kill the Christmas vibe. Kirk hopped on Instagram and urged neighbors to save Christmas.
I woke up the next morning and 2 or 3 more strands were added.
And it kept going. More and more lights each night. The Christmas commode was such a hit that this year, Kirk rented a porta potty and put it in front of his home. The neighborhood knew what to do next.
All I supply is an extension cord and a 40-amp breaker.
Little by little, the lights lit up this latrine, a crowd-sourced Christmas scene that cars line up to see each night.
We actually dropped off toilet paper roll ornaments to go on.
Tours, selfies, and family photos for Christmas cards.
3, 2, 1, smile!
Yay! Are all part of this winter water closet. And Kirk says it's not causing much of a stink, because people aren't leaving any organic gifts, if you will, just making memories in front of a joyous John that may also bring a strategic advantage when the big guy rolls around on Christmas Eve.
Not only will Santa spot our house better, but it'll also give him a little bit of a reprieve, I think, in his long journey on Christmas Eve.
Wow. The play on words in this story were
written so well.
Could you imagine getting a card in the mail from your friends and you open it and it's their whole family in front of a porta potty?
I know. I mean, okay, honestly, I've never thought about it before. How does Santa, you know, he has to make pit stops every now and then, right?
Santa's
so
magic.
this is
He doesn't have to
perfect.
worry about that.
He doesn't have those movements like us.
No, okay.
But I think-
now if he does, he has a stop.
First off, no one can go around the whole world in one night and make pit stops.
That's
There's just
true.
no time for that.
That's true. Oh, goodness.
I think it's funny how like something so like basic as a porta potty just brought this community together. It's like almost like people from all around are coming to take a picture with this magical porta potty. I don't know. I think it's kind of silly, but fun.
Oh, so fun. That was a great story.
Okay, here's another little piece of Christmas magic for you.
Okay.
Check this out. A little girl got her dream Christmas gift. I wanted you to watch her face as she goes through the stages of excitement and confusion when unwrapping her gift. It's not until she opens it right here, she realizes what it really is. Can you guess? Take a look at this excitement here.
What is it? Taco Bell gift card? That's the only thing you wanted. What do you say to Santa?
That's right. It is a Taco Bell gift card. That's the only thing she wanted. That's what she got.
Wow.
You guys, I understand this excitement because as a kid, I actually requested that myself from my sister who lives on the West Coast.
Okay.
And they didn't have Taco Bells on the West Coast back then. So she made me one. She hand drew a little Taco Bell gift card.
Oh, that's a great big sister, but I would love that gift even now today. I love Taco Bell. That's one of my guilty pleasures.
I'm not a big Taco Bell girl. I mean, I'll eat it occasionally, but you know, I am so happy for her that she gets to go to Taco Bell now. But that pure joy, I mean, that was precious.
I almost feel like they need to hire her or something like that for like promotions. Like she had so much excitement. That would make anyone want to go eat there.
Yes, they should. When I was a kid, my favorite thing at Taco Bell were those little cinnamon twists.
Oh,
do you remember them? They were like for
Oh.
desserts.
And now they've upgraded to like little mini donuts with cream filled inside.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
You can get them all day too.
No wonder you like it.
I know the whole menu by heart.
Well, hey, I heard they're bringing back the Mexican pizza.
Yes,
so.
yes, that was my favorite. I was upset when they took it away.
I just like seeing kids so happy. You know, Christmas time, we think about what do I get? You know, my parents, my friends, my family, all that kind of stuff. Christmas is really about the kids. When kids open a present, that's the magic, that's the real deal. And even if it's Taco Bell, it's exciting.
And I think we all have the duty this Christmas. Pick one present when you open it and act like that little kid.
Yes.
My family is gonna be like, "What is wrong with Stacy?" I'm just so excited. I hope I get a Taco Bell gift card.
All right, talk to us on Facebook. What do you hope to get for Christmas? It's only 3 days away. Christmas is just 3 days away. Now, you may be done with most of your gift shopping, but what about those stocking stuffers? I asked you on Facebook what you like to put in your stockings. Byron Young says peanuts, apples, oranges, and the rest of that stuff G-Ma used to put in there. Xavier Anderson says liquor, just to deal with all the crazy people. Teresa Anderson wrote lottery tickets. My crew loves getting them, whether they win or not. Yeah, I like that too. And then Sophia George wrote batteries and cash. And then Joy Mott wrote candy.
Batteries, the practical one.
Yes, something that you can use.
Someone always forgets to buy the batteries with the present.
That is absolutely true. And then you're like trying to take stuff out of the remote and stuff to get it working.
Yeah. So my husband's parents, they always do the practical stuff for stocking stuffers. And then my mom always growing up would do socks and underwear because you always need those every year, right? A lot of candy and then gift cards to your favorite fast food restaurants. So I always got Chick-fil-A or Sonic.
That's good. My mom likes to do the like Bath and Body Works, like the little hand sanitizers or the little like lotions and things like that. She'll probably put socks, like the little fuzzy socks, maybe like the little facial mask things. You could do lots of little spa-like stuff.
So I like to do the impulse buys at the store as you're checking out and they got all the stuff there. You buy 2 for someone else and 1 for yourself. That's the rule.
So you're just like, they'll like that too. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially the dog toys. Our dog has so many dog toys in that stocking this year.
I love it. Got to. What's sad is like I've already opened some of Baylor's stocking stuffers. My daughter.
Just 3 more days.
I know.
3 more days.
I just want her to enjoy all the things.
You're gonna be that mom that starts opening presents on Thanksgiving, aren't you?
Probably. I'll be like, you can have 1 present a day until Christmas.
So I can dress you up and try on all these different little outfits.
That's what the advent calendar is invented for. There you go.
I need to do that. Once she like realizes what's going on, advent calendar. I love it. Well, my 2 cents is coming up after this break. We'll be right back.
My mom.
1, 2, 3, 4. Huh?
My mom.
Hi, hello, how are ya? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hi there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is someone at the verts before my hit? Because I'm at the touch.
Someone need this?
Okay, all right, just want to check. Gotcha. Oh, wait.
When done responsibly, social media challenges can be fun to take part in, from trendy dance moves to raising awareness about illnesses. They can create a sense of belonging and a way to stay connected with people around the world. But what was once lighthearted is becoming more dangerous. Every week, there appears to be a new challenge that puts people in harm's way. This summer, we had the Milk Crate Challenge, where participants stacked milk crates on top of each other to form a pyramid, then try to walk to the other side without falling. Then there was the TikTok challenge that encouraged kids to destroy school property. And recently, school districts around the nation were on high alert after a TikTok trend threatened gun violence at schools. I find it hard to wrap my mind around how anyone would find these challenges to be fun or cool. Is putting your life on the line worth a few extra likes? Is getting viral attention worth striking fear in your community? Is it worth possibly facing legal consequences? I say it's not. One of the best things we can do is stop resharing these random crazes on our social media platforms. Continue to monitor what our youth are watching online. And if you see something suspicious, speak up and report it. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFNY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Look at this long line. That is not the shopping mall. This is the line to get free COVID-19 test kits from the Guilford County Health Department, the hottest item in town.
It only shows that everybody wants to be safe, everybody wants to play safe,